I have an important question regarding the marriage vows. Is "till death do us part" dead? July 9th, 1963, my wife and I just returned from a honeymoon in Bermuda. Thoughts of our wedding vows kept nagging me. The part at the end of the vows, "till death do us part." At that time, close to 1 out of 4 marriages were ending in divorce. I was an only child, a product of a contentious marriage. I wished, nay, encouraged my mother to get a divorce. Maybe a divorce would curb her dependence on alcohol, or at least temper her rage. I yearned for happy holidays. Those vows, "till death do us part," without an escape clause, haunted me. Was there anything I could do to resolve my anxiety? The answer came to me was to form a pact with my wife. So the following day, sitting on our red velour couch in the small living room of our new apartment, I clutched my wife's hand. Swallowing hard, I said, "Honey, I love you very much, and I hope we will always love one another. However, let's make a pact. If either one of us falls out of love with the other, we promise to end the marriage as quickly and cleanly as possible. If you no longer love me or vice versa, it's not fair to both of us, let alone children, to remain married." She didn't answer immediately. Instead, it appeared as if she were looking into my eyes, searching for some deeper motive, until she said, "I promise." 62 years later, here we are, still married and still very much in love with each other. However, the divorce rate of marriages in the U.S. has soared to between 40% to 50%. The average marriage lasting 8 years. If these spouses upheld their vow of "till death do us part," there must be a lot of dead people walking around. And in some respects, this could be true. A part of each divorced person carrying the stigma of being a failure because of breaking the death vow, or from the wounds of divorce, a dead zone of the psyche. With 1 out of 2 marriages ending in divorce currently, there must be a better way for couples who don't want to get married but want to create a stronger relationship than cohabitating, one where a deeper bond is acknowledged, with a format for handling issues like joint property, alimony, child custody, without adversarial lawyers and clogging up court dockets. There is, and it lies in Mexico, in proposed legislation called temporary marriage contract, or in France, known as the PAC, capital P, capital A, capital C. The thought that in a conservative Catholic country such a proposal could become law gives hope someday it could be available to couples in the United States. Current politics in the U.S. make it a heavy lift, with the Conservative Party in charge of all branches of government and professing Project 2025. Part of Project 2025's manifesto intends to strip women of empowerment they gained during the sexual revolution of the 60s and 70s, with a goal of returning women back into the kitchen, wrapped in an apron with lots of children. Project 2025 also proposes to eliminate no-fault divorce, making it almost impossible for women to obtain a divorce. The legislation enacted in 1969 gave women and men ability to file for divorce over irreconcilable differences, or the equivalent, without having to prove misconduct by a spouse, such as adultery, domestic violence, bigamy, cruelty, abandonment, or impotence. Temporary marriage establishes a contract in civil law lasting 2 to 5 years. At the end of the term, couples could renew the contract or let it expire automatically. No divorce proceedings required. Temporary marriage, a civil union entered into a civil registry or by a notary public. The difference between the pact between my wife and I and a temporary marriage contract is the need to trigger a relationship examination before the contract expires. Potential outcomes: A, the couple is ready to commit to a traditional marriage with a tested foundation. Or B, the temporary civil marriage achieved its goal and the couple would like to renew it. Or C, after soul searching, the couple acknowledges pitfalls in their union and will let the contract terminate under stipulated rules and consequences, thereby avoiding divorce, as well as long, expensive, dramatic unpleasantries. Acknowledging most relationships don't last a lifetime, interest in non-monogamy is appearing in surveys of sexual matters. General population surveys indicate 20 to 30% are interested in learning about or have participated in non-monogamy. In one survey of Gen Zs, those who were born between 1996 and 2010, 68% said they'd consider non-monogamy. Some proponents of non-monogamy claim better success rates for lasting marriages than traditionally monogamous couples. Personally, during the sexual revolution, when women were exercising sexual freedoms, I got caught up in monogamous tryst. As noted in my book, Hookups, Hiccups, and Happenstances, the pact I asked my wife to join helped preserve our marriage because my wife knew I loved her. Therefore, a practical solution to the till death do us part enigma may be replacing it with as long as our love shall last. Sam L. Feldman, author, www.samlfeldman.com.